that Age of Boredom and I have spent a lot of time playing is Warframe. So all I can say about Warframe is what a game. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a third-person action, like hack and slash shooters set in space, where you basically play as this race called the Tenno. That, to be honest, I don't know that much about, but you basically have these like suits of armor called Warframes that give you these like kind of like space powers. So yeah, I'm playing right now as the Excalibur. Like it's the basic edition, the one that they say everyone new players just start off as, because I am totally new. And yeah, so I've just kind of put some bullet points here about the game, what I think about it. So it's going to be kind of like a mini review or a first impressions. So yeah, so first off, I put that it looks really good and runs really well on the Switch, which is always a worry for these huge, bigger online games, that they're going to come over and look like absolute crap. But I think the developers that ported the game are Panic Button, who they ported, I think, Doom and Wolfenstein. So they've got quite like a good reputation and a good history with porting big Switch games. So I have to say, like, they've done a really good job with Warframe. Like, especially your character, like your character's textures look really good. Some of the environments look better than others. And there's also one point, I can't remember the name of the city, but there's a city on Earth you go to, and it does look bad because it's kind of like a hub and there's so many people there. And there it kind of looks like an early PlayStation 3 game, but other than that, like actually in the levels and when you're playing, like the game looks fantastic, to say that it's running on a Switch, and that I haven't done it, but in principle, you could pick it up and just play it handheld if you wanted to. For me, it's a perfect game because it's actually like really, really grindy. So like before I was really into my Switch, I was actually a big Destiny 2 player, and put hundreds of hours into Destiny 2 and kind of left it feeling like, I need something more. Warframe so far is definitely like scratching the itch. It's basically works on like you everything you have your Warframe, your weapons, they all have a level which all needs leveling up to level 30. So there's like plenty of stuff to work on, plenty of stuff to work towards. Plus your account has like a level 2 as well. So right now I think I'm on level my what's it called? Majesty level, I think it's called, is on level 3. And the higher you rank up, the more you get access to more blueprints, which means you can craft new weapons and more powerful weapons. So it has like a really nice loop to it. Like basically you're doing missions, saving up money, unlocking blueprints or buying blueprints, and then you're basically then grinding through the missions again to unlock items or resources that you need to basically to fill out these blueprints. And then when you have the blueprints together, you can craft it into a new weapon. Then you get the weapon, you go and run around with the weapon, get it up to level 30, and then you pretty much do the process all over and over again. What I would suggest though is that if you are a totally new player, that you kind of like have someone to Sherpa you through the games. And if you don't know what I mean by that, is like you find someone who can help you through that first little step, because the game kind of has a tutorial. Basically, it gives you like these set of very what's the word? But a set of missions that you have to do one after the other. I can't remember what the word is. What the video game word for it is. Not open world, the opposite of open world, whatever that word is. Sorry. That you have to do, and once you do that, you basically have like upgraded your ship to full capacity. So now you can use a ship to replace your mods, to build things, to upgrade your armor, to do all that sort of stuff. But then after you finish that, the game kind of like just leaves you to work out what to do. There is kind of like a story mode, but I think it is like kind of really like a story. If you really want to enjoy like a narrative perspective, you can go and do the story mode by yourself, but you don't get that many good rewards for it. So I actually had Age of Boredom. He played it a lot back. He played it a lot on PC before the Switch, and he kind of has an understanding of okay, we need to get this thing right now, so let's go and do this mission and this mission. And I think there's 3 or 4 different types of mission types. There's like one called defense, which is basically like a horde mode. So in the middle is a bomb or just something to protect, and then you have to survive waves of enemies. And obviously the more waves you survive, the better loot you get. There's one called what's it called, Sabotage, where it's supposed to be like a stealth mission, but Warframe never ends up being stealth. But you basically break into a base and then you have to sabotage something and get out really without being seen, but it doesn't really matter if you are seen. There's ones where I can't remember the name, but there's ones basically where you have to go and kill a certain amount of enemies on a mission. There's another one where what is it? There's it's like kind of like basically these things land on these drills land on the earth, and you have to like protect the drills from enemies, and they land all around the map, and the drills have like a certain amount of power, so you have to go kill enemies that are carrying these power packs and then bring it back to the drill, power it up. Once the drill's extracted whatever it needs to extract, then another drill will spawn somewhere else on the map and you have to rush there. So there's a lot of like things to do. It's like it is difficult to get into when you first start. So like I say, if you can find someone to help you, that's really good, which kind of fits in nicely with the Discord. Again, like I say, a lot of us are playing it on Discord. Age of Boredom and myself specifically are playing it a lot. I really hope everyone else downloads the game because it's free and it's something we can all play together. So yeah, I highly suggest if you want to get into Warframe and you need someone to play it with, go to switchindiefix.com/Discord. Plus, I actually set up a clan on Warframe. It's called Switch Indie Fix. I'm not 100% sure if you can request to join the clan or if I have to add you to the clan. But if that sounds interesting to you, just drop me a message either on Twitter or Instagram. Or in Discord with your in-game name. Once I have your in-game name, I can send you an invitation and then you can join the clan. So a little bit more about the actual game itself is that the movement of the game is the thing that stands out the most for me. Like it makes you feel it's a space ninja game, and it makes you feel like a space ninja. And when you learn some of the higher techniques, you really, really feel like awesome and overpowered. You can basically go from you start off with like a double jump, but when you learn how to chain a lot of the moves together, you can go from jumping from one side of the map literally to the other. Like it's so cool how the movement works in the game. And as well, the kind of gunplay is awesome. Like there's so much feedback to it. Like it reminds me a lot of Destiny in that respect. It's very satisfying to, there's like an enemy that has a helmet, and if you shoot its helmet, the helmet will fly off, and then you can like one shot it in the head. So it's like very satisfying. And then as well, there's like a hash and slack aspect of the game where you have a sword and you just run into enemies and spam A, and it just absolutely annihilates anything that's in front of it. So the gameplay is really cool. Like I said, the environments, some of them don't look as good as others, but it's surprising how large and open world the game feels. The level, it's all kind of level based, but the levels are huge, and there's a lot of like verticality to them, and which I really like. It kind of like it kind of opens it up even more. Plus there's like little hidey holes that you can kind of go into, and if you're looking for loot, you can go in there and there'll be like a locker to open up, or there'll be some pots to smash or something with really cool like resources in them. Or if you want to sneak around, if you do want to play it like as a stealth game, there's a lot of like vents you can break into, and the vents, you follow the vents, they lead you out to opposite parts of the map. So the maps are really well designed, and they're a lot of fun to play in. And like I said, loot is like a very important part of the game. You need a lot of it you need a lot of resources to craft your items. Items, or should I say, crafting is a really long process. I kind of touched on it before, but the crafting in the game is actually done in real time. So last night I crafted a gun, and it took 12 hours. So it means in real time I have to wait 12 hours until this gun is finished. And to build the gun or to build the warframes, you have to find these blueprints. But it doesn't mean like, so one of the warframes is called the Rhino Warframe. So I can go onto the market and buy the Rhino Warframe with my in-game credits, right? But it doesn't mean then I have this blueprint that I can just go to my workbench and build it. It means that, okay, now I can see what other blueprints I need to finish before I can actually build the warframe. So with the Rhino one, it's like an early game. It's one of the early game warframes. You need 3 different blueprints to find, each with their own resource list. So it's like, okay, so now I have to go and basically grind to find these 3 blueprints. Then you get them, and then you have to grind again to get the resources, and then you have to build them all, which I think they take 12 hours each. Once they're finished, then I don't think there's any other resources you need after that. You just need credits. So then you have to have enough credits to then build the Warframe, which takes, I think, 72 hours. So crafting is a very long process. It's frustrating in some ways because like right now I've already pretty much maxed out my character, and any extra XP isn't carried over to another Warframe. So right now I'm just kind of like killing stuff, and it's not really affecting me it's not benefiting me that much until I get a new Warframe. But it means, okay, yeah, so it's probably going to take me a week until I can get the next one, which is cool, but it's also a little bit frustrating. What is like kind of makes it better is that the developers haven't like bottlenecked you in crafting, so it's not like you can only craft one thing at a time. So it's like if I need 3 things for this Rhino Warframe, I can craft all 3 things at the same time. It's not like, okay, you can do one and then that takes 12 hours and then it's like, okay, that's finished now, you can do another one. Like you can craft as much as you want, so that makes it a little bit less annoying, but still it does take a long time to craft stuff. And so far the only problems I've experienced are with kind of like the network stability. There's been times where I've been playing and like shooting the enemies and like hitting them, but you can like tell that they're not really there, like there's something missing between your Switch and the server and the characters, and it's all out of sync kind of. So you'll shoot someone and then all of a sudden they'll appear close to you and die, like weird little things like that. And some of the servers as well, like they've basically like pulled me out of a game, or me and whoever I'm playing with out of whatever game we were playing, and then put us back in. And like it's always worked better. Like after when you get put back into another server, it's it always runs a lot better. It's just you can kind of tell when it's going to happen. When enemies start freezing or when they don't disappear after you've killed them. It's it's like it kind of takes you out of the experience a little bit. And the game did crash on me once, but I think these are things what you expect from an online kind of live game in its first week. I'm hopefully the developers work on it. They optimize it a bit more for the Switch. Optimize, it might be Nintendo online structure as well. You never know. So other than that though, Warframe's awesome. Like considering it's a free game, that they could definitely charge you $60 in the state it's in now, $60 or £60 for it, because there's so much content there. Yes, it's grindy, but like if you are a Destiny 2 player and you finish now, like you finish the Forsaken and you still don't feel satisfied by it, then this game will definitely scratch an itch for a few hours. And I think as well, it's kind of like Destiny in a way that you can play it casually. Like you can play through all the different activities in the game, and you might unlock a few Warframes, you might unlock a few weapons, or you can get like totally into it and like devote your life to it. And I hope I kind of get in the middle somewhere. I don't want to have to devote my life to it, but at least it's like an indie game, so it kind of works out well for me because I can play it without feeling guilty about spending so much time playing one game when it's not an indie game. So that was my kind of first impressions on Warframe. I'm probably about between 10 and 15 hours into it now. So yeah, really, really like it. Really highly recommend it. And if you do pick it up and you do want to play with people, like I say, go to the Discord or join the clan. And I'll be happy to play with you, Age of Bod, and be happy to play with you.